Hello and welcome to a world where cinema is celebrated. I'm Atika Farooqui, who sits on the fence cheering for those who excel in it. Because creativity takes courage. And there are many artists giving up their lives and souls to cinema. We have a lot today. This is now showing. Let's begin with the highlights. Millie is a must-watch piece for a great story, intense atmospherics and lovely performances. An Oscar-nominated film from the 1940s is this week's recommendation for your weekend. Anupam, Kher and Boman Irani in an unforgettable talk with me on old age and the art of staying young. And singer-composer Salim Merchant and Harshdeep Kapoor talk about their new song and the rise of K-pop in India. Let's start with talking about Millie, this week's release. Well, it is a survival flick. The protagonist gets stuck in a freezer with no one knows where she's trapped. Watching her desperate effort to stay alive is a chilling experience, made all the more after knowing that it is inspired by true events. But the film is so much more than just that. It's good cinema. Directed by Mathukutty Xavier, whose debut film Helen with the same story in Malayalam got him a national award in 2019 for the best debut as a director. He proves to be totally worth it in this film too. Millie, played by Janhvi Kapoor, is a 24-year-old nurse who wants to move to Canada for work. She is the daughter of a widowed and a loving father, played by Manoj Pahwa, who has friendly camaraderie with his only child. Sunny Kaushal plays Millie's boyfriend, who will ultimately prove to be a great choice. The film follows a woman stuck in the freezer of her workplace at -17 degrees for more than 4 hours. The world is instantly gripping as you start to watch the movie with no lost words. A beautiful middle-class world in Dehradun, home management, commitments in the neighborhood and her love life is all that she grapples with. She's affable and very popular. So, when she vanishes, there are so many people anxious on her behalf. And each one of them gets a solid part to play in this rescue/survival thriller. Originally written as film Helen by Alfred Kurian Joseph, Noble Babu Thomas and the director Mathukutty Xavier himself, this one is quite brilliantly adapted as screenplay by Ritesh Shah, where the script is never verbose. The relationships and the plot are clear from the start. Also cinematography by Sunil Karthikeyan and editing by Monisha Baldava, I must say, are superb. The scenes from inside the freezer look like a living hell, and the villain is that fan spewing death in the form of cold waves. A villain that needs to be killed. Among a capable team of supporting actors, the most significant performance comes from Manoj Pahwa. Millie's real triumph is that even it separates the heroine from everyone else, it does not suddenly make the climax all about a male savior, whether the father or the boyfriend. It's in that zone of Hindi commercial cinema, but very much about every character involved in the plot equally well. What was bothering for me though was that even while watching the film, it was so engrossing that my teeth started chattering like this. But the protagonist, with all the makeup of a woman freezing to death, did not show signs of internal suffering through her facial movements. At -17 degrees, after 4 hours of entrapment, the person is visibly shaken and shaking. Also, the father at a crucial time does not trust his daughter because something had happened where she was not at fault though, but he did not trust her and he pays for it. It's a lesson learned for many fathers here. Also, the music by A.R. Rahman and lyrics by Javed Akhtar add that necessary emotional catharsis that a thriller like this had desperately needed. Do not miss Millie. It is indeed a good film. And here is a film recommendation for you. It's a Wonderful Life is a 1946 American Christmas fantasy drama film produced and directed by Frank Capra, based on the short story and booklet The Greatest Gift, and is loosely based on the 1843 Charles Dickens novella A Christmas Carol. The film stars James Stewart as George Bailey, a man who has given up his personal dreams in order to help others in his community and whose thoughts of self-harm on Christmas Eve brings about the intervention of his guardian angel Clarence Orbody. It's a Wonderful Life is considered to be one of the greatest films of all time. It was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. On Christmas Eve 1945, in Bedford Falls, New York, George Bailey contemplates ending his life. The prayers of his family and friends reach heaven, where guardian angel Clarence Oddbody is assigned to save George in order to earn his wings. Clarence is shown flashbacks of George's life. He watches 12-year-old George rescue his younger brother Harry from drowning, but becomes deaf in his left ear. James Stewart was an American actor and military pilot, known for his distinctive drawl and everyman screen persona. Stewart's film career spanned 80 films from 1935 to 1991. With a strong morality he portrayed both on and off screen, he epitomized the American ideal. Frank Capra and Stewart both were men who served in world wars, and just after the world nearly threw itself off a cliff, they knew how easy it is to destroy our best qualities. They knew that humanity is only as good as it is kind, and they made a film just about that. About 75 years later, it falls on us to like a message like that, a message in a bottle from the past. Do not let cruelty win. It says, reach out, hold on, help. Watch this film this weekend. Remember the beautiful film from the 70s, Khoobsurat? How a director can show the lives of men and their stories without being brash and misogynistic, by celebrating inadequacies and by addressing insecurities. A new film which has Mr. Bachchan, Mr. Boman Irani, Mr. Anupam Kher and Danny Denzongpa will take you into a world of ease and fulfilled dreams. Uunchai is about men who refuse to age and refuse to die prematurely. They teach the world how to live and learn and unlearn many things in life. Anupam Kher and Boman Irani are two such men who are inspirational for their lust for life. What a pleasure it is for me to have a beautiful conversation with them on a lazy afternoon. George Bernard Shaw had said that youth is a very precious thing, but what a shame it is that it is wasted on the young. और जिंदगी कैसे जीनी है ये जब तक समझ में आता है तब तक आधी निकल चुकी होती है. So what is a successful life? What is a life well led? इस पे मुझे जवाब चाहिए. तो जवाब किससे लें? उनसे लें who have successfully led their lives. Mr. Anupam Kher and Mr. Boman Irani.
Thanks very much.
कितना अच्छा बोली और कितना अच्छा बोले बर्नार्ड शॉ भी.
Here we are talking about ऊंचाई. फिल्मी नहीं है, it is a idea. ये एक जीने का तरीका, उस पर भी बात हो रही है. बरजातियाज have been a part of Indian legacy. और जैसे 1947 में हमें आज़ादी मिली, वैसे ही बरजातियाज की शुरुआत हुई. और आज पहली बार ऐसा हो रहा है कि हम आपके हैं कौन, मैंने प्यार किया, हम साथ साथ हैं, विवाह बनाने वाले बरजातियाज का फोकस ओल्ड एज पे आया है. बोथ ऑफ यू हैव हैड इनक्रेडिबल जर्नीज. मतलब आपका अगर विकिपीडिया देख लें तो वो अपने आप में एक क्रैश कोर्स है मोटिवेशन का. व्हाट इज अ सक्सेसफुल लाइफ? व्हाट इज अ लाइफ वेल लेड?
One of non-stagnation, one of reinvention, which is more or less the same thing. One of self-reflection of who you are, how you can improve, and one of being happy. You can live a healthy life, and you should. You must eat well, you must exercise well, you must do. But if you are an unhappy exerciser and unhappy diet follower, you're not a healthy person. Health has got to do with happiness, goodness, sharing. You feel good. You'll be a happier face, a happier body, a happier soul.
I'll add one more thing, to not to take yourself seriously. Problem क्या होती है when you take yourself seriously? According to me, you're very comical, because then everything is fake and artificial. I don't think either of us take ourselves very seriously. We don't take this. We are happy that you gave this introduction to both of us, but it's happened. अभी आगे reinvention करना है, आगे करना है, because अगर उसके बोझ तले हम दबते चले जाएंगे तो आगे सीखने के लिए बिल्कुल सब कुछ खुला रहना चाहिए ना. तो वो जब तक रहेगा तब तक अच्छा है, क्योंकि हमारे से पहले बहुत ग्रेट्स आए हैं और आज हम उनको ट्विटर पे एक दिन ट्रेंड करते देखते हैं. तो मेरे लिए एवरीडे लिविंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
किरण जी से मैंने बहुत सालों पहले एक ऐसे इंटरव्यू में पूछा था, किरण जी का ये कहना था कि अनुपम के मन में उनकी लाइफ को लेके जो ध्येय हैं, एम्बिशंस हैं या मोटिव्स हैं, वो इतने ऊंचे हैं कि आप सोच नहीं सकती। और क्योंकि बात ऊंचाई की हो रही है तो ये कुछ सिमिलैरिटी आपके और आपके किरदार में, इन किरदारों में दिख रही है।
पहली बात तो ये एक जिंदगी है, और जब आप आमतौर पे men when they reach 50 55 they discover what kind of people they have become.
Yeah.
Then at that time they either like themselves or don't like themselves. I like myself.
Nice.
I like myself from what I have come from, what I have achieved, not only in terms of movies or awards or something like that, but as a person who I have become. फिर आपको लगता है कि जो second half life का है उसमें इतना कुछ करने को है, और also अपनी जो सहन शक्ति है या अपनी जो कार्य शक्ति है उसका अंदाज़ा तभी आप लगा सकते हैं जब आप ट्राई करें।
Right.
और मैंने बताया कि मेरे को फेलियर का डर नहीं है, तो मैं क्यों ना ट्राई करूं। ऊंचाई भी करने का वन ऑफ द रीजंस अपार्ट फ्रॉम सूरज बरजातिया, राजश्री एंड दैट दे गिव मी सारांश वाज आल्सो इट केम टू माय करियर, मेरे जीवन में तब आई जब मैं इस शशोपंजस में था कि क्या हम एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप पहुंच सकते हैं, क्या मैं वो हेलीकॉप्टर राइड्स ले सकता हूं। और तभी जब ट्राई करते हैं, आज हम इसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो मुझे लग रहा है हम गए थे क्या इधर, क्या हमने ये एक्चुअली हासिल किया था। तो बहुत ह्यूमन स्पिरिट में बहुत कमाल की पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं। सोसाइटी ट्राइज टू मेक यू फील अ सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ अ पर्सन बिकॉज उनको सूट नहीं करता। हाँ सच के क्या मजा है। अब ऐसे करने में लगता है कि यार अतिका फारूकी के सामने इंटरव्यू दे रहे हैं इस चैनल पे, वी शुड बिहेव आवर्सेल्व्स, वी शुड बी। तो मैं वही जो आई डोंट वांट टू टॉक लाइक दैट वेयर आई फील दैट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया एंड दिस थिंग इट विल बी स्टूपिड।
Right. Okay. So no intellectual
That's what
elitism.
ultimately what I told you in the beginning. I don't take myself seriously.
In the West, the world has seen two stalwarts. One is George Clooney and the other is Richard Gere. George Clooney married again a couple of years ago. Richard Gere has become a father again at the age of 73. Many are still doing
कहना क्या चाह रही हो?
Where is this story going?
Or I'm saying, I have been in conversation with Javed Akhtar Saab on a very big platform where we discussed about why are the love stories in India mostly catered to the young. What do you have to say about that? Even here, while the story is about you, I would love to see a love story between you and someone of your age.
I think I would like to see many stories that break the mold and say that, you know, why should love be only reserved for the young. And you're right. I think that you know, in my life, my love story has started maybe with romance and an attraction, and it grows into something, then grows into adjustment, and we get to a stage where we know each other's faults so well, and we love each other in spite of those faults.
Right.
And that's
love.
That's love. That is love. But that might be, just because that's love, it does not mean it can make drama.
Okay.
A movie that just depicts, you know, this is a slice of life. I don't like that word. Show a slice of life and say, oh, there's love between two people who are in their 70s. So nice. Yeah. So then what?
Okay.
आगे क्या बताया?
Wonderful.
Where's the drama in that? It's when, if somebody wants to write a story like when it's so beautiful, and then something goes wrong, and then you refix it again. Without something going wrong, I don't want to watch that movie. Not because they are old, because it's boring.
Also, I think हमारी society is divided into traditionalism. हमारे और अमेरिकन स्टोरीज में लाइफ में डिफरेंट होता है।
Right.
हमारे बच्चे हमारे साथ 50 साल की उम्र तक भी रहते हैं, 60 साल तक भी उम्र में भी रहते हैं। वहाँ 18 साल की उम्र में बच्चों को निकाल देते हैं या वो खुद छोड़ के चले जाते हैं। तो हमारे यहाँ एक ट्रेडिशंस हैं। हमारे यहाँ जो 4 विभागों में बनी है कि बचपन, जवानी, बुढ़ापा और उसके बाद ये सब है, उस वजह से भी होती है।
What is needed from the children when it comes to a parent-child relationship?
I think children should not put their parents into a slot of cliche slot. He is redundant. Or they are redundant, or they are old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned.
I know better than them.
I know, yeah.
They tell bad jokes badly.
Right.
You know, they are embarrassed about their parents. I'm generally, I was so very proud of my father's bad jokes. Because he used to tell worse jokes. और उनको जोक सुनाना जो था वो खतरे से खाली नहीं होता था. His family is completely different. They make.
They make us stand up and do routines.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Show that one, show that one.
Yeah.
They
Depend करता है परिवार
Depend
परिवार
करता,
पे,
yeah.
परिवार.
And lastly, apart from work, you do this thing called spiral bounders,
Yeah.
where you have a team of writers or people who want to write, and you train them, and non-stop every day you are there despite your schedules, you're on time. Talk about that. It's a very, very healing also process for many, and it's a very inspiring process for many.
I think it was healing for all of us at that time, because Spiral Bound was in the pandemic. People don't know how to spend time. कितने हम films देखेंगे, कितने web show series
Yeah.
देखेंगे. तो we started with a group of 4. Next day say, can we bring our friend? तो 10 आ गए.
Yeah.
10 के आज almost 750, 800. Anybody can come.
Anybody.
आओ बैठो. Because my whole take on cinema is, you can have the best directors, the best actors, the best cinematographers, but what are you directing from? Phone book लेके तो अंदर से नहीं देख सकते. We'll shoot this phone book.
No.
You need a script that is word perfect.
Yes.
Which is word perfect, and not just a story, a screenplay that is just flows, one hitting the other. We teach that.
Wonderful.
And I think if that improves, you can say, oh, we are making content-driven film. What is content? Content doesn't mean an unusual story.
Yes.
Content means it can be a very simple story.
Right.
But you have to hold the attention for 2 hours.
Yes. So if anybody who's watching this wants to be a part of it, what
Anybody
does he do?
can come.
They reach out to you.
Anybody, just you need just the phone number, and we'll send you the link. Come, and after 5 days, if you attend 5 sessions, we put you on the mailing list.
Wonderful. I'm really looking forward to watching Uunchai. I think it's a marvelous idea, and we had been waiting for a film like this.
आपके ज़हन में इस पिक्चर को लेकर कोई शेर आता है?
हम भी दरिया हैं, हमें अपना हुनर मालूम है, जिस तरफ भी चल पड़ेंगे रास्ता हो जाएगा.
वाह.
Time for a short break on the show. When we come back, we have queen of Sufi music, Harshdeep Kaur, and Bollywood's biggest hit machine, Salim Merchant, with some music for your ears. Stay tuned. And also for that song, Ungli pakad ke tune chalna sikhaya tha na, dehliz ऊंची है ये पार करा दे. Welcome back to Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui. Chak de India. Remember Salim Suleiman? Yes. So Salim Merchant, one of the famous Salim Suleiman Jodi, is one of Bollywood's successful singers and music composers who's not just popular for his super hit soundtracks for such films like Chak De India, Band Baja Barat and Fashion, but he's also known for the diversity in his music. And now he has teamed up with the velvet voice Harshdeep Kaur for a devotional song titled Koi Bole Ram Ram, which is a part of Salim Suleiman's album Bhumi 2022. My colleague Vishal Chatkara spoke to Harshdeep Kaur and Salim Merchant about their new song and the big surprise that he has in stores for all the fans of Bappi Lahiri.
कोई बोले राम राम, कोई खुदाए, कोई सेवे गोसैया, कोई अलाए. कोई बोले राम राम, कोई खुदाए, कोई सेवे गोसैया, कोई अलाए.
Salim Merchant and Harshdeep Kaur, both of you have teamed up with another singer, Vipul, for this very soothing devotional song called Koi Bole Ram Ram, which I think is your gift to the world on the occasion of Guru Nanak Dev's birthday. So when you all started work on this song, these are of course the hymns which were created by fifth Guru Arjan Dev Ji.
That's right. That's right. And actually, ये इसकी कल्पना हुई थी during Lodi. I went to Amritsar. I went to Darbar Sahib at the Golden Temple, and when I bowed down and I put my head down at the Granth Sahib, and I felt like this time for Bhumi I must do a Shabad with Harshdeep. And at that time, Vipul was with me. Vipul is from Amritsar. He was with me. I started thinking about what I should do. And I came across this beautiful Shabad, which is Koi Bole Ram Ram, Koi Khudaye.
I have heard this Shabad a lot of times, and there is this one version sung by the great Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab also, which is my personal favorite. और मेरी दिली तमन्ना थी कि मैं भी कभी इस शब्द को गाऊं और आई थिंक रब ने मेरी सुन ली and Salim called me. So doing this shabad is actually, as Salim said, it's very reflective of the times today. I think I would say it's a much needed shabad today. लोग उसको सुने और इसके एसेंस को समझे कि वो क्या बताना चाह रहे हैं. ऐसी खामखा के झगड़े होते रहते हैं आजकल धर्मों के पीछे. आज के टाइम पे भी ऐसे धर्मों के पीछे झगड़े हो रहे हैं जो नहीं होने चाहिए. So we really hope कि थोड़ा सा ये contribute करे शब्द in changing that negativity.
Today we are seeing a rise of K-pop. As a creator or force behind some of the iconic or evergreen songs, do you think Indian music or composers need to reinvent in order to keep Gen Z or youth of today interested, considering that they are already drawn to Western music and popular music like K-pop?
Vishal, all kinds of music can coexist. There is an audience, and there is there are listeners from all different types. We don't need to say that ye nahi ho sakta or ye acha nahi ho raha hai or that's not so great or whatever. I think what's great about music right now is that people are listening to all types. If I like devotional music, I also like K-pop. I can also listen to jazz. I can also listen to Hindi film, Bollywood music. So there's nothing like there's today a listener is exposed to a lot of stuff thanks to all the different platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, etc., etc. So,
but as musicians, we should do what we really like and what we really believe in. And if it is really good, it'll find its audience. We can't keep impressing everybody or the young generation. But as young ourselves, like we are also from the young generation, we can just inspire them by doing that kind of music so that they listen to good music in future. We can just set an example.
To both of you, what is your take on labels dropping mixtapes and diss tracks? How would you react if you find tomorrow your track is recreated with this format?
They better recreate it in a nice way.
Listen, honestly, it's fine. I mean, everybody is doing whatever their heart tells them. Some people are doing it for music, some people are doing it for commercial purposes. One thing great is that, if you, as a creator, if your heart is large, you must be open to everything. I personally don't like recreations. If somebody asks me to recreate something, I say no, unless there's a specific purpose for it. Let's say I'm doing Band Baja Barat 2, and somebody wants me to recreate, like for instance, I'm doing Disco Dancer, okay? I'm working on the musical Disco Dancer. And we have to recreate Bapida's music for that musical, right? So there is a purpose for it. If there is a purpose, why we have to recreate, it makes sense. If you're just making a song, if somebody is making Dilli Saath after Dilli Che, and then you can use Masakali, it makes sense. But if you just use Masakali without any Dilli Saath or Dilli Art, then it doesn't make sense.
Is there a plan to do Disco Dancer too?
Disco Dancer, we are already doing as a stage musical in the UK. It's the entire thing is live. It's exactly like a Broadway musical. We are doing this in the UK with live singing, music, dancing. The entire film is going to be on stage. All the songs, Awa Awa, I Am a Disco Dancer, Koi Yahan Nache Nache, Jimmy Aja Aja, Yaad Aa Raha Hai, and we've created 2 original songs for that musical.
Both of you have been doing a lot of concerts lately. So which are the songs that you select to end your concerts with?
First, Harshdeep. Harshdeep, aap bolo.
Well, my concerts always, mostly they end with Jugni Ji, and people always ask for Kabira again, and a lot of Punjabi songs. But yeah, mostly Jugni Ji is the song that I end with.
We have 2 endings. When I do a college, when we do a wedding or a big function, Indian function, we end it with Avi Lut Gaya. If I'm doing a big college or a ticketed concert in India or outside India, I finish it with Shakti India.
Salim, you're a champion of fusion music. Your songs have always been celebrating diversity. But how do you maintain the cultural sensitivity when you're working on a song which come from a place or culture that you are very less aware of?
I first of all only do a song, attempt to do a song with the culture when I'm aware of the culture. I don't just generally jump into some song just like that. I remember in fashion I had done that. I'd gone to Morocco for a holiday. I witnessed Moroccan music and Arabic music, and that's why I was inspired, and I'd come back and worked on a film called Fashion. तो मैंने सोचा कि it would be nice for me to sort of infuse it. I don't generally just do that without having knowledge and a good ear for it.
That's all this week. I'm Atika Farooqui saying ta-ra. We meet again very soon because as Rumi said, what you are seeking is seeking you. With that, we've come to the end of this week's episode. See you again. Bye.